broadcast. All right, so welcome to the African History Network show. Hope everybody's doing well today. This is the last of the new year. It is Sunday, January 8th, 2023, and we're live. Hope everybody's doing well today. Give us a call. The calling number is 313-778-7600, 313-778-7600 is the call-in number if you have a question or comment. So we'll talk about Hakeem Jeffries making history, and he gave a fantastic speech, as I knew he would, early Saturday morning, January 7th, 2023, once Kevin McCarthy won the election to be House Majority Leader, and he won with 216 votes after 15 tries. This is the longest it is taken to elect a House Majority Leader, or I'm sorry, a Speaker of the House of Representatives, I should say, in 164 years. And that just shows that's a prelude to the chaos that we're going to see coming from Republicans, especially a lot of the Republican extremists. So we'll discuss that, and we'll let you hear what Hakeem Jeffries' speech also that has gone viral. And also we're going to talk about this segment from Roland Martin Unfiltered, where once again, Roland and I got into it. And a lot of people commented, he kept cutting me off, things like this. And as I posted on his YouTube channel, I would discuss it on my show tonight, uninterrupted. Okay, except for commercials here. I'll discuss it on my show, uninterrupted. So we were talking about Black Republicans and inappropriate behavior, and Black Republicans voting against the many Black Republicans voting against the interests of African Americans. Okay. Then we got in. Then I brought up the fact that Byron Donalds, Representative Byron Donalds from Florida, is married to a white woman, and I saw the interview that Roland did with Byron Donalds last year. I've been following him, and I can see why he's married to a white woman as well, because he exhibits anti-Black self-hatred. Okay, and we see this also in how he votes. All right, so then all hell broke loose, and I guess you could say, according to the caption in the YouTube video that Roland's people posted, they said it was a clash between he and I. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. Okay, so but if you read the comments, and there's almost 900 of them on the thread, 99% of the people agreed with me. So we'll deal with that also. Now, back on January 1st, 2022, I was on Raja Muhammad's show, The Culture, on the Black Star Media Network, which is Roland Martin's network. And we talked about Hakeem Jeffries becoming the House Minority Leader and the significance of this and the limitations that he will experience as well. So I'm going to let you hear some of that also. Earlier today, I spoke with director Taaqiy Grant, director of the film Hapi, which deals with the role of economics in the development of civilization. And we talked about the Hapi Day of Excellence that's coming up in New York City, February 4th, 2023. Okay. And I interviewed him on our social media platforms. So I'm going to let you hear some of that interview. And I'm trying to get there for that event as well. I'll probably be a vendor, maybe on a panel. We'll see. But we have the information on the homepage of our website, TheAHNShow.com, TheAHNShow.com. And one of the things that we talked about in this interview, and Taaqiy has organized tours to Egypt as well as to Sudan, which used to be Nubia. One of the things we talked about in this interview is Kevin Hart has recently been criticized for saying that the ancient Egyptians were Black Africans. Kevin Hart, comedian Kevin Hart, actor Kevin Hart, has come under harsh criticism for saying that the ancient Egyptians were Black Africans. Well, they were. and the evidence is there. Dr. Shankata Diop proved this in 1974 with his melanin dosage test. But also, if you study the history of the ancient Kemites, of the ancient Egyptians, you'll see this as well. So I'm going to share that segment of the interview with you in the next few weeks. We'll share this segment of the interview also that I did with Director Taaqiy Grant. But the Hapi Day of Excellence is coming up February 4th, 2023. Visit our website, TheAfricanHistoryNetwork.com, TheAfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Right on the homepage, we have the information there. You can register. Our link is there. The link is there where you can register for the conference. And you'll have lectures from people like Professor James Small, Professor Kabahai Watakamene, and Fiducia Jehutimus. You've heard all three of them here on the African History Network show. Riza Islam, and more. Okay, so we have information at our website, TheAfricanHistoryNetwork.com. On January 1st, 2023, on New Year's Day, I gave the keynote speech for the last day of Kwanzaa, organized by the Black Legacy Coalition. The last day of Kwanzaa at the historic King Solomon Baptist Church, here in Detroit. And this is the same church where Malcolm X delivered his ballot or the bullet speech, April 4th, 1964. And one of the things I talked about was repairing the damage of a legacy of slavery and legal arguments for reparations for African Americans and the Black Freedmen Indian treaties of 1866. So I'm going to try to squeeze in a clip of that presentation I did. It's on my YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, and our Facebook fan page, The African History Network. And over the next couple of shows, next couple of weeks, I'll share excerpts of that speech that I did. Okay, now on the African History Network show, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now it's correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. What you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with is based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you have been taught about yourself. What you've been taught about yourself is based upon everything you've read, heard, and seen about yourself. So when you control the radius of a man or woman's thoughts, you can control the compass of his or her actions, because the mind can't do it, teach what it doesn't know. Sign up for our email newsletter. Text the word Kemet, Kemet, to 22828. To sign up for our email newsletter, text the word Kemet, Kemet, to 22828. To sign up for our email newsletter. Also visit our website, TheAfricanHistoryNetwork.com. TheAfricanHistoryNetwork.com as well. Now we're coming up on the break. The calling number is 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600. You can give us a call. When we come back, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to share a segment with you from Roland Martin Unfiltered, where we talked about Kevin McCarthy. And this was from Friday, January 6th. So it was on the 13th round of votes. But we talked about Kevin McCarthy. We talked about Representative Byron Donalds, who was nominated to be Speaker of the House of Representatives. He got 20 votes. He's a Black Republican who consistently votes against the interests of African Americans. We'll be back in a few minutes. Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 910 a.m. the Superstation, the Future Radio. All right, the calling number is 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600 is the call-in number if you have a question or comment. Okay, so the 118th Congress has been sworn in. Unfortunately, Republicans are in control. You're about to find out what crazy is. You're going to see what I warned you about. What I warned you about leading up to the midterm elections, and also the speech that I gave at King Solomon Baptist Church in Detroit. I talked about how crazy Republicans were going to be, how crazy with Republicans in charge, and how they're going to work against the best interests of African Americans, number one, but America in general. All right, now on Friday's edition, Friday, January 6th edition of Roland Martin Unfiltered, we discussed some of this, and we're going to clip number one, Asia. Okay, we have Asia, who is my board operator. this evening. So if you call in, you're going to talk to Asia. We're going to clip number one. So we discussed Kevin McCarthy. Now, this was on Friday. Now, we know it was early the next morning, right around 1 a.m. or so, when Kevin McCarthy got the necessary votes to become Speaker of the House of Representatives. All right. And you can check out the article also from, there's some good articles, good coverage from Washington Post, New York Times, as well as NBC News. If we look at this here from NBC News, Kevin McCarthy got the necessary votes. We know that there was a pressure campaign going on with some holdouts, members of the Freedom Caucus, which used to be the Tea Party. There was a pressure campaign to get them to present as opposed to actually casting a vote for someone else, like a Jim Jordan or Byron Donalds, and it would reduce the threshold Kevin McCarthy needed to get the speakership. You need 218 votes. You need a simple majority. There are 435 seats in the House of Representatives, and lo and behold, Colorado and Matt Gaetz voting present that reduced the threshold to 216 that Kevin McCarthy needed. Read this article here, how Kevin McCarthy got the votes for Speaker and why it, after a chaotic floor fight, the new Speaker won by making a series of concessions to far-right rebels that Democrats say will make the House ungovernable. He's not going to be able to govern. You're dealing with a bunch of crazies. He's made so many promises he's not going to be able to keep. And you haven't seen chaos until you see Republicans trying to govern this 118th Congress. But we discussed this on Roland Martin Unfiltered on Friday. And let's see here. Let's go to the clip. Let's go to clip number one, please, Asia.
All right, let's get right to it, Kelly, Michael, and Matt. All right, first up, Michael, we're watching this thing unfold. And again, what really jumps out the most is you're seeing the dysfunction of the Republican Party. It's also going to be a precursor for how they're going to operate, increasing the debt ceiling, any future votes, you name it. Mm-hmm. This is what you're going to see. I keep telling people, keep it, pay attention, because you're going to have anywhere from 6 to 10 Republicans who are not in hard right districts who are going to be watching this thing unfold. And if this thing goes too far right, they could cut their own deal. And so this is where people are about to see the chess pieces move, where you got these Freedom Caucus, these 20 members. You might have this contingent of 6 to 10. I'm not going to call them moderate Republicans because they're not moderate. They're just simply not as hard right as the others who may align with Democrats for legislation moving down the road.
Yeah, Roland, Happy New Year to everybody, by the way. On January 1st, I spoke at King Solomon Baptist Church here in Detroit for the Kwanzaa celebration. And that's the same church that Malcolm X delivered the ballot or the bullet April 4th, 1964. And I warned people how crazy Republicans were going to be, okay? How crazy governing was going to be, but also trying to choose a Speaker of the House of Representatives. Now, I didn't know it was going to go 14 rounds. I knew it would be crazy. I didn't know it was going to go 14 rounds. But this is a precursor to what's coming. What's coming? The Lincoln Project, they just, in the last couple of days, they revived this campaign. They have Kevin McCarthy's picture next to a head of lettuce. Okay, like they did in England with Liz Truss, who was prime minister from September 2022 to October 2022. They're asking who's going to last longer, a head of lettuce or Kevin McCarthy. And it's also important to understand, this is the second year anniversary of the January 6, 2021 insurrection. And you had 139 traitors in the House of Representatives who voted not to certify the 2020 presidential election results. And many of these people, almost all of them, are members of the Freedom Caucus, who the 20 who are holding out. But also, it's important to understand that a lot of these people are voting for, well, basically all of them are voting for, the rest are voting for Kevin McCarthy. So I think what's important for African Americans to do is we got to focus on kicking these people out of office in 2024, because it's going to be very hard to get meaningful legislation done when crazies are in power like this.
And this is we say this all the time, Kelly, why voting matters. When I interviewed Congressman Stephen Horst for the other day, this is what he said. He said, we lost by 7,000 votes, we would be in the majority. And every vote counts. Boebert only won by 250 votes. Right. Okay, Democrats could have won that seat. You had the Democratic incumbent who chose not to run. The Michigan folks redrew the districts. There was an incumbent in Michigan who could have run in the seat. They let John James run. He barely wins that seat. Had Democrats had the courage there. Maloney got in the way, screwed up in New York. Of course, the New York Democrats totally botched that whole deal. And so they opened the door for the Republicans to pick up, 4 or 5 seats there. So we wouldn't be in this position, again, based upon if Democrats had done their job, but also had folks voted. And so this really is showing people what happens when one vote combined with others can change history.
Listen to learn. This is at the risk of democracy. It's at the risk of things actually being done in Congress, right? Because we are on day 4 of this circus of trying to, get somebody into the seat of Speaker of the House when only this many people don't want him there. And the irony is not lost on me that these 20 people, are the same ones who are talking about draining the swamp and clearing stuff out and making things more efficient. And they are the very people who have essentially become the swamp to make this democratic process even less efficient than it is and will be under Republican rule. So that irony is not lost on me, and it shouldn't be lost on anyone in this audience. But you're right, every vote matters. And unfortunately, this is an incredibly hard lesson to learn in this way, because it's literally going to stop the progress that American people need, that frankly American people voted for on either side of the aisle, all for the sake of ego and clout chasing at this point.
The thing here, Matt, the folks at the Freedom Caucus, they don't mind blowing stuff up. Like they enjoy chaos. That's really what we have to understand here.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, because that's their brand. I mean, that's what they've sold, right? I mean, kind of to Kelly's point, we're going to come in and drain the swamp and change the way things are done. But I think she's 100% right in that they are playing into a lot of the same things that they've said that Democrats have done. But beyond that, I mean, their own constituents are having issues with this. I heard on NPR this morning that people in Boebert's district are exasperated that it's taking this long to get a Speaker of the House and get Congress to business. And I think that's what the people should really take from this, is how our political processes allow a very small contingent of people to hijack the whole process. I mean, the idea that 20 people can keep Congress from working is absurd, right? Because the average American has to go to work. So for them to be playing these games and not to work is really a problem. And I ultimately think it's going to have a negative effect for them down the road, because they're showing that they're just as willing to play in the very games that they decry Democrats for allegedly playing, all for the sake of ego.
Oh, absolutely. And I just think that, again, what people need to understand, I keep telling folks, save for a couple of things, I don't foresee anything of significance getting done over the next 2 years with these Looney Tune folks in charge, Michael.
Absolutely. All you have to do is look at what happened in the 117th Congress. Overwhelmingly, these Republicans who were in office consistently voted against our own interests. They voted against the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Okay, that vote was 220 to 212, March 3rd, 2021. Every Republican in the House of Representatives voted against the bill.
The one Republican who voted for it, he said he made a mistake. He put out a tweet, said he made a mistake. He was going to change his vote. They voted, every Republican in the House and the Senate voted against the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. Every Republican in the House and the Senate voted against the Inflation Reduction Act. They voted against the American Rescue Plan. And unfortunately, I just saw Byron Donald's face on TV and talk about Isaiah T. Montgomery of 2023. This brother is a total embarrassment. And I hope you re-air this weekend, Roland, the interview you did with him to show everybody how crazy he is. This brother voted against our own interests. And I use the term brother very loosely. This brother's a traitor. I'm sorry. But he told you, he voted against the American Rescue Plan. It lifted 1 million African-American children out of poverty. It saved the American economy. So, and he also voted to invalidate the votes of 16.9 million African Americans who voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Oh, you got to put his face up. Oh, go research this brother. And when you interviewed him, I hate to take it here, but when you interviewed him, Roland, I watched it live, and I said, I wonder if he is. And I went to his campaign. I went to his little Twitter page. Sure enough, he's married to a white woman. I knew it. Not because. No, See, this is his mindset. No, just follow me. This is his mindset. This is white supremacy through ventriloquism.
But hold up, but is it? Wait, wait. Tim Scott married to a black woman.
Well, that's true.
Hold up. No. Tim Scott married to a black woman. If I'm correct, and he stood with Trump. He campaigned for Herschel. So what's the point?
And Herschel, no, I was following. I watched the entire interview.
No. Here's my point. If a Tim Scott would hit the nut stuff that he said and how he defended Donald Trump, stood with him, and campaigned with Herschel, he a black Republican married to a black woman. Over here, Donald is married to a white woman. Sounds to me like both of them, again, they are hardcore Republicans. That's who they are.
Right. No, I was following the breadcrumbs. That's what I was doing.
Following what?
I was correct. I was following the breadcrumbs.
But here's the deal, though. You can be a hard right black Republican and have a black wife and still be upholding white supremacy. So what the hell they got to do with it?
That is true. No, I was following the breadcrumbs, and sure enough, I was correct. Same thing with John James. I'm here in Detroit. I followed the breadcrumbs. Sure enough, I was correct.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm wrong, but this ain't one of those times.
So explain Tim Scott.
You can't explain Tim Scott. He's out there in Montgomery as well.
He just ended
up marrying a black
No, you can't.
Who thinks
and that's the whole point. It ain't got nothing to do with him having a white wife. He chose to align with a hard right MAGA Republican Party. That's the point.
Yeah, he did. And undermine and block the George Floyd justice.
Yes, he did.
That's
with a black wife.
Absolutely.
So he advanced what?
You said he advanced what?
He advanced white supremacy. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely.
But what I'm saying is, who the hell the wife is, it don't matter. If you align with MAGA GOP, you are choosing to align with white supremacy. Got to go to a break. I'll be right back on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Welcome back to the African History Network show. All right. Right before the break, welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM, the Superstation. Okay. Right before the break, I was sharing with you the segment from Roland Martin Unfiltered from Friday, January 6th. Okay. And we were discussing Kevin McCarthy. And at this point, this was a few hours before Kevin McCarthy was elected Speaker of the House on the 15th try, after he gave away so much to the extremists in the Republican Party. And this, can't really call them extremists because largely the entire party is extreme, but these are members of the Freedom Caucus. And then I mentioned Byron Donalds. Byron Donalds in one of the rounds got 20 votes to be Speaker of the House of Representatives. Now, he had no chance of becoming Speaker. And he is, Byron Donalds is he could possibly be the new Herschel Walker. He's just a little bit smarter than Herschel Walker. Well, he's a lot smarter than Herschel Walker, but still just as bad. So I want to go back to this segment here. So as usual, you see Roland kept interrupting me, right? So we go to break and we come back from break and we go to another topic. And then Roland wanted a second helping of this intellectual ass whooping I was giving him, and he brought it back up. So I kept going. We're going to go there in just a second. Now, we'll go to the phone lines and on the other side of the break. Stand by. Calling numbers 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600 is the call-in number if you have a question or comment. All right. Now, what I want to make very clear is I'm dealing with a mentality of anti-Blackness and self-hatred and the different ways it manifests itself. And when we look at most of these Black Republicans, especially at the federal level, the House of Representatives and the Senate, when we look at actually all, we can basically say, well, you got one that we already know, John James. He's here in Michigan. He ain't gonna vote for policies that are beneficial to us. He may vote for a holiday for Rosa Parks or something like that. Other than that, he doesn't support basically policies that are beneficial to African Americans. But when you look at them consistently voting against bills that are beneficial to us, and you listen to statements that they make, anti-Black statements, things like this, then it's plausible that their anti-Blackness and self-hatred also plays into who they end up marrying, and a lot of times they end up marrying white women, or they marry somebody African American who has the same mentality that they do, which upholds white supremacy also. This is the point I was making. All right, now we're gonna go to clip 2 here in just a second. The call 313-778-7600, 313-778-7600 if you have a question or comment. So I was reading through a lot of the comments. I read through maybe about 50 of the comments of people. It's close to 1,000 comments there now on the segment that they uploaded January 7th, that I think was uploaded January 7th, 2023, the segment of the clash between Roland and I. They call it a clash. So I'm using their terminology. Now, what I was not saying, because the actual caption of the that was uploaded January, it was early January 8th, I guess it was, 2023. Roland panelists clash over Black Republican Byron Donalds' mindset, his wife's supposed influence. I don't know where they got the part about his wife's supposed influence. I was not saying that Byron Donalds' wife influences his policy positions, or she has influence over him. That's not what I was saying. What I was saying was his anti-Blackness and self-hatred influences not only his policy positions, but who he ended up marrying. That's what I was saying. Okay. So let's go to clip number 2.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely.
But what I'm saying is, who the hell the wife is, it don't matter. If you align with MAGA GOP, you are choosing to align with white supremacy. All right, let me correct something. Senator Tim Scott is single. And the reason I need to make this point, I'm not going to play those games. I don't care. There are black Republicans who have aligned with MAGA, who have black wives or black husbands. So I don't care if Byron Donalds' wife is white. I don't care if Byron Donalds was single. I don't care if John James' wife is white or if he was single. Byron Donalds apparently went to FAMU and graduated, I think, from Florida State. We've had other black Republicans on who stand proudly with Donald Trump and MAGA Republican, and they have black spouses. I don't care. I don't care. That has nothing to do with it. It doesn't. Now, I know we can sit here and we can talk about, well, they got a white spouse or whatever. No, it doesn't matter. That individual is how they're choosing to align. Because here's the problem with that, is that if we're going to say, well, I'm following the breadcrumbs and the spouse is white, okay, well then what do we then say when somebody is a progressive and a wife is white, but they're sitting here championing racial justice issues? Are we following those breadcrumbs? Because if we do, we're going to go home and find a white wife. That's why it doesn't matter, Michael. That's why that is utterly irrelevant whether his wife is white or not. It doesn't matter. He's the one that's sitting here voting. He's the one that's sitting here driving an agenda. That actually means nothing. There are people who have sold out black people who have black spouses. So what do we then say then?
Is that I watched the interview that you did with Byron Donalds. I watched the interview that Ari Melber on MSNBC also did with Byron Donalds. I listened to his policy positions and and then I followed the evidence. And sure enough, his policy positions also acted out, in my opinion, were acted out in who he married as well.
So what happens? What happens when there is what happens when there is a MAGA black Republican with a black spouse? Then what? What lines up then?
They end up marrying a black spouse who thinks white. That's what happened. They end up marrying a black spouse who has a white mentality. That's what happened. But also,
what the hell that got to do with it? So what? Okay, what then happens with somebody black? What then happens with somebody black who is progressive or who agree with us on racial justice and their spouse is white? Does the white spouse have a black? What happens then?
Well, their white spouse, oftentimes their ideology will line up with that progressive as well, and they will have those same type of progressive ideologies as well.
Or they may not.
Or they may not. There are exceptions to the rule, but the exceptions to the rule don't mean the rule don't exist.
Well, how about this here? How about we center on Byron Donalds?
We can do that.
No. How about our focus be on Byron Donalds and John James and not who the hell they married to? Because we ain't sitting here questioning any Democrat we disagree with and then asking who they go home to.
We can do that if you like.
No, but we're not. No, but we don't.
But no, are we? But no Democrats voted to overturn the 2020 presidential election.
And what I'm saying is we don't need to play that ridiculous game on who their spouse is. How about we focus on them?
I am focusing on them.
But why you bring up the white wife?
I'm also focusing on mentality.
That's irrelevant. It's utterly irrelevant.
Roland, you just asked me a question.
It's irrelevant.
You just asked me a question. Just let me finish.
It's irrelevant and nonsensical.
No, because their mentality influences the policies they support, and their mentality also influences who they end up with. And if you look at this and pay attention, Roland, you just asked me a question.
But the reason that doesn't make any sense is because if somebody black who is progressive marries somebody's white, well, then what's the mentality?
Because oftentimes that white person they marry will have the same type of progressive will embrace the same type of progressive policies and have the same type of progressive mentality.
Right. So their progressive mentality or progressive ideology is not based upon them being a white woman or a white man. It's their ideology.
you are concurring with what I'm saying.
No, what I'm actually saying is if we're gonna have a conversation about how somebody is voting, what their ideology is, the position is, how about we stick to them and not who the hell they married to?
We can stick to them, but right now we're talking about the Republicans, and I mentioned 139 in the House of Representatives who voted to overturn the 2020 presidential election results. No Democrats voted to do that. I talked about how you have Republicans, 212 of them, who voted against the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. No, basically almost all of the
So are we bringing up any of the other spouses of the Republicans who voted to see who's married to Latino or Asian, are we doing any of that?
You can do that if you like.
To me it's irrelevant.
Okay.
To me it's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant to you, but I'm also dealing with policy, and I laid out.
No, you're not dealing with policy. You're dealing with them married to a white woman.
No Republicans in the House or the Senate voted for the Inflation Reduction Act. You think that's not policy? No Republicans in the House or the Senate voted for the John Floyd Justice and Policing Act.
Michael, you can't. No, Michael. So you can't sit here and try to do a dance by saying, "Oh no, I'm talking." No, Michael. You can't say I'm talking about policy, but he married to a white woman. No, you're not.
Mentality influences the policies that you support. Period. Your mentality.
But you don't even know what her mentality is.
Whose mentality?
Do you know the mentality of Byron Donald's wife? Yes or no?
I didn't ask the mentality of Byron Donald's wife.
But you made the assumption. Michael, really? Really?
But I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, the mentality of the wife, just take Clarence Thomas for a minute. Okay?
No. See, Michael. No, Michael. See, what we're not going to do is try to jump. We're going to stay right here. What I'm saying is, Michael. You're not going to hop to Clarence Thomas. Michael, you're not going to hop to Clarence Thomas because hold up, Michael. Here's the deal. Clarence Thomas's mentality predated his wife. So that ain't got nothing. So that ain't got nothing to do with it.
His wife in the 1980s.
Michael, this is real simple. Michael,
her mentality and his lines up.
No. Here's the deal. That's nonsense.
You can't say they don't.
Yes, I can. If we're gonna sit here and focus on what Donald's is doing, we're gonna focus on Donald's and not who Donald's is married to. And we're gonna wait a minute. Unless
you got like a campaign ad with your spouse in it.
Oh hell, Michael! Michael! Every damn candidate runs out there with their spouses. So you
open it up. You open the door.
Oh no,
don't get mad at me because I kick in the door.
Michael, that's not opening up. That's ridiculous.
Because I kick in the door. This 2023 player. But don't get mad at me because I kick in the door.
No, what I'm saying is, what you're saying is utterly nonsense. It ain't kicking the door in. What he chooses to do.
The ideology. You follow.
Michael, you talking about
mentality lines up with the policy.
Michael, that's
they end up with, and they have the same type of mentality.
That's nonsense.
Tell me,
Michael, that's nonsense. This is real simple. Michael. Michael, this is very.
No, they don't.
Hell, James Carville and Mary Matlin married to each other, and they are diametrically opposed. So they got nothing. It has nothing to do. It has utterly nothing to do with. In terms of, it has nothing to do with who you're married to. No. I'm gonna say it again. It has nothing to do with who you're married to. When you are in the house and you're making your decision, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna focus on you as the politician. What I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna focus on who your spouse is.
Stop the clip. Okay, so what happens is when I back Roland into a corner, he keeps trying to interrupt me, but it's not gonna work. Okay, you listen to the African History Network show. We'll be back in a few minutes. Hotep, everybody. Hey, this is Michael Imhotep, founder of the African History Network and host of the African History Network show. I'm a talk show host, researcher, lecturer, writer, and historian. And I want to let you know about our next class session of my 16-week online class, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Maafa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, where they didn't teach you in school. It's going to take place Saturday, January 14th, 2023, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this class session is going to be a free class session. So you can visit our website, TheAfricanHistoryNetwork.com, TheAfricanHistoryNetwork.com, and click on the link that says register here to register for the free class session. Free session on January 14th. Click right there to register for the free class session. So this is a 16-week online class that I'm teaching. This time around, normally it's 12 weeks. This time around, it's going to be 16 weeks. And we deal with thousands of years of history and what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. You can register for the full class if you like to. You can register for the full class. It's on sale $60, regularly $130. And we do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded. I do a PowerPoint presentation. We have book references, articles, video clips, and you'll never look at history the same way. You can also use this information with your children. I would say the information is PG-13, and we deal with the African presence in the Americas going back thousands of years ago. We look at the 800-year occupation of Europe by the Africans known as the Moors. We look at various African civilizations, where they talk about ancient Kemet, Nubia or Ta-Nehisi. We look at Axum, Ghana, Songhai, Mali, etc., and look at what leads to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. And then we go through and analyze it some as well. Okay, so the class is on sale $60, regularly $130. But our Saturday, January 14th, 2023 session will be a free session. So just visit our website, TheAfricanHistoryNetwork.com, and you can claim your free class session. And if you choose to register for the entire course, even after the class is over with, you'll still have access to the full course. You can still go back and watch it as much as you want to. So a year from now, 2 years from now, you can go back and watch the entire class. Now on Tuesdays, I teach from the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement and Black Power, 1865 to 1968, but we really start in 1800 with we look at the Louisiana Purchase and the Haitian Revolution of 1803. We look at the Louisiana Purchase of 1803 and the Haitian Revolution because those two events are related. Okay, so if you missed our class session January 10th, 2023, that was a free class session. You can click right here to claim your free class session to check out the content. And this is a fantastic class. We go through and look at history and look at what leads to the transatlantic slave. Look at what leads to. We go through history and look at what leads to the Civil War taking place. Okay, and then we look at the Civil War, Reconstruction era, Jim Crow era, World War I, World War II, Civil Rights Movement, and Black Power movement, to understand what happened to us after slavery ended. What were the laws and policies put in place to put us in the predicament that we're in right now? Okay, so that is from the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement and Black Power, 1865 to 1968. And so we go through and look at history chronologically to see what led to the Civil War taking place. Okay, and we look at things like the Missouri Compromise of 1820, the Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854. We look at the end of we look at the Mexican-American War, 1846-1848, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo of 1848, where the U.S. gets the territories that make up Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, California, Utah, and Nevada. All that was Mexican territory. We look at the Civil War, 1861-1865, Reconstruction era, 1865-1877, the Jim Crow era, Plessy versus Ferguson, 1896, Great Migration, 1915-1970, World War I, World War II, Civil Rights Movement, and Black Power movement, to understand what happened to us after slavery ended. What were the laws and policies put in place to bring us to where we are today, to understand where we need to go from here. Okay, so that class is on sale, $60, regular $130 as well. You can claim your free class session that we did on Tuesday, January 10th. and you can join us in our next class on January 17th. That Tuesday class, we do 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, from the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement and Black Power. Okay, so visit our website, TheAfricanHistoryNetwork.com, and when you go to the top of the page, we have information about our radio show and our social media handles. And listen to the African History Network show Sundays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 9:10 a.m. Superstation WFDF. And we also broadcast on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, The African History Network, and our YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, IMHOTEP. We have our PayPal and Cash App information as well. Here, $ the AHN show through Cash App and PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN show, so you can support the African History Network. And scroll down and have our 15 lecture digital download bundle pack of some of my lectures. Okay. So you can order that as well. And we have our online classes. Now we have a course bundle where you can get both classes on sale for $100. That's an over $260 value. Okay. And that is a course bundle for $100, both classes. If you've taken any of my online classes in the past, email me at ahnshow@theafricanhistorynetwork.com, ahnshow@theafricanhistorynetwork.com, or just click on contact the African History Network at the top of the page and email us, and you'll get 50% off the course bundle. Okay, so visit our website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com, and we hope to see you in our next class. And remember, our Saturday, January 14th, 2023 class is going to be a free class session. All right. And then our next classes after that of ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Maafa, understanding the transatlantic slave trade, what they didn't teach you in school, will take place on Saturday, January 21st, and Saturday, January 28th. 2023, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, right now, it's correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. And hope to see you in class. Peace. All right, you can support the African History Network, $ the AHN show through Cash App, $ the AHN show through Cash App, also through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN show. And this helps finance the research. This helps finance the show, because I'm going to have to go into New York City February 4th, 2023 for the Hapi Black Excellence event. I'm going to have to pay my way there. I'm going to have to pay for that and cover expenses. And I need to get a new laptop to broadcast the African History Network show. That's why I keep having to refresh the screen and the broadcast is choppy, because I need a gaming laptop. This is the laptop that Staples sold me is the wrong type of laptop for what I need to do.